Knights of the Night actual play podcast. This Dresden Files story, Delivery, was written and run by your GM Tom. And now, please enjoy episode 80, titled By the Sword. Get on to the episode. We have first two announcements and then we have some feedback. The first announcement is that we put up a poll on kotnpodcast.com.
Not a dancing poll.
Not a dancing poll, but which NPC do you like best? I don't remember the actual title of it.
Which character do you like best?
Which
player or something?
I actually thought which NPC would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Because I think Crispy Bruce would win hands down.
He's received too much characterization.
He gets a pass. He gets to live through the... Oh, wait. He can't. He's a vampire destined to die. Which was actually not my joke, but Theron Merktio. He was talking on Facebook and mentioned that. But it's who is your favorite character in the Delivery series? It was mentioned on Facebook, so we already have some votes on the webpage, but I'm mentioning it here. Go to www.kotnpodcast.com. It's on the right-hand side. There's Maxwell, Undercover Agent, Roberto, Denarian, a.k.a. Eye Squisher, Allan, the Warden, Edward, the New Age Black Lord Vampire, and London, the Amoral Seer. Speaking of Facebook, we did have someone post when I mentioned the fact that we had that poll up there, and he said, this was Jason Thompson, who we've had feedback from before. Jason said, all I have to say on the poll is this. It sums it up by the following picture. And he put a link, which when I clicked on it, I will now show everybody on my iPad that it is the Kool-Aid Man smashing through the wall. So apparently he was voting for John's character, Roberto. And on the picture, it's a Kool-Aid Man smashing through the wall, and on the top it says, go ahead, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So currently on our website of the votes, London is winning with Roberto in second, and Maxwell and Allan right behind. And unfortunately, no one's voted for Edmund Shadowski yet. The vote is new, so I'm sure he'll get some. The other announcement we have is that in a while, I think we're talking a couple weeks, the RPG Podcast Listener Survey is coming out. I'm going to be putting a link on our podcast. I'll put it on our Facebook page, and I'll mention it here when it actually comes out. And what it is a survey in which we're asking information about our listeners, how old they are, how many podcasts they listen to, what type they like to listen to. In particular, they can vote for individual shows, and that'd be great if our listeners went out there and represented us. But this is used for some of the shows that actually try to get sponsors so they can show what demographic of people listen to them. We don't look for sponsors, so it's not a big deal, but we'd still like our listenership to be represented. So I'll give the details. It'll be coming up in a few weeks.
Have actual plays ever gotten any sponsors?
Yeah. Yeah, there are podcasts out there that get sponsored.
Well, I know there are. In particular, actual plays seem like not something that would happen.
Well, I'm talking, this is in general all role-playing. So there are some role-playing based more on topic discussions than, I don't know that. I actually think that there was some AP that had sponsorship, and it could have been the Obsidian Portal. And I know they were sponsoring some actual play podcasts. So those are the two announcements. As far as feedback goes, I had a bit of a discussion with the guys from Rusak Gamer because we mentioned in our show that list on The Geek and that their show was listed in there, and they were amazed that they were above us. They really enjoy our show, which I listened to their show, and in fact they just started their own Dresden. They were doing a city build, and it was actually a very good episode. So I want to tell our listeners, if you get a chance, give it a listen. If you're enjoying our Dresden, give the Rusak Gamers a listen, because they're
What city are they in?
You can call me out on that, huh?
No. What country is it in? Where are they from?
They're from the United States, you would think, potentially.
Rusak Gamers, it could be Australian.
Yeah, exactly. They're not. They're from the United States, and I do remember talking to it was a city that they live in, and I remember it was really cool listening to it because they were talking about their culture and their city, and it was entirely foreign to me. They were doing it on Louisville, the city that they live in. I guess there was this lady that started a small business baking cookies, and she started making them for lunch in a small area, and then she's getting bigger and bigger, and so they have her in their storyline. They have...
Is her name Aunt Martha?
I don't remember the specifics of it, but...
Dolly Madison?
No. And then there was the Happy Buddha, I think they called him, which was apparently a heavyset guy. Was slightly mental. He would be very happy. If you spoke to him, he'd get all excited. They were describing, like from 3 blocks away, he'd be, hi, how are you? Screaming. type thing. And it was very interesting to hear their
They all knew about him?
Yeah, I mean, more than one. I think 2 or 3 of them definitely knew about this guy. You know, it's the same thing as we had. It's just local culture, and you work it into your game. But, like I said, our listeners, the best way to find them is go to our forum, which is rpgcrosstalk.webs.com. Go there, look for the Roosack Gamers, ROOSACK Gamers. They're starting their Dresden too, and if you're enjoying ours, you might enjoy theirs. Other than that, we have 2 iTunes, not only ratings but reviews. Just mentioned it last week, and 2 people ran out and did it right away.
It's very nice.
Which we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll have John do the reading so that I can stop talking and get a drink of water.
This is from Kyle Hudak. He rates it 5 stars. The title is Loving It. Love these stories so far. It's been godsend for me to be able to listen to this during work. Started with Dresden Files stuff, and going back to the World of Darkness story now. I wish I had people like this to roleplay with. They seem like a fun bunch of guys hanging out, enjoying the dark World of Darkness. Definitely recommend. I can't wait for the newest episode to come out.
Thank you, Kyle, for the feedback. We appreciate that. Always appreciate the 5 stars and love when someone puts a little bit more so that we can give them some props, and thank you. We got a second review, and this one, Scott will read.
All right, the next set of feedback and a review on iTunes is by Bard Knight. One of my favorite actual play podcasts is the title, 5 stars. KOTN was only the second AP I'd heard, but they've quickly become one of my favorites. The first chronicle got me started playing World of Darkness, and I'm anxiously awaiting the second portion of that story. As an avid Dresden Files reader, I'm glad they're branching out and willing to try new games as well. The pre-made campaign characters wasn't the greatest, but the new Dresden Files RPG story delivery more than makes up for it, in my opinion. The use of music and sound effects is great and definitely adds to the enjoyment. Listeners should also check out the extra resources on Facebook, including character NPC portraits, character sheets, and more. Keep up the great work.
Nice review.
That is
very nice review. It's very
informative.
Yes, it was like a paid commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So who was that by?
That was by Bard Knight, and one thing I caught here by reading or listening to Kyle Hudak and then Bard Knight as well is what interests me is the fact that the listeners I thought would be a little bit more, I don't know, pigeonholed, or they would be just predisposed towards one system or another. The Dresden people would listen to Dresden, and the World of Darkness people would listen to the World of Darkness. I think what I'm finding really interesting in the reviews coming back in are the fact that a lot of people start off with a predisposition to World of Darkness or to Dresden, but are willing to try listening to the other series and are enjoying it equally.
Right.
Or in some cases even more. So I find that kind of fascinating because I kind of really thought in the back of my head that, not that we'd have 2 groups of listeners, but just the World of Darkness people would be like, Dresden's alright, but come on, get back to the story. And same with the Dresden people would be like, I tried out World of Darkness, it was alright, but we're getting a lot of positive feedback on both stories, which I think is really cool that people are enjoying both equally.
You're right to some degree in that when we first did our World of Darkness storyline, we targeted the World of Darkness people. I mean, we went to the World of Darkness forum, we talked to Eddie Webb, we tried to get the word out because we were a new podcast and we wanted to get it spread, and it worked.
Right.
And when it came to Dresden, I did the same thing. I talked to Fred Hicks. In fact, I'd like to thank him briefly for putting out another Twitter blast talking about last week's episode, which was the one that was pretty much an entire episode of the social combat. It was London and Allan going up against Constance, and it was a long struggle, and it was kind of highlighting the social combat in the Dresden game system. So he actually put that out, this episode, and that's what it shows, and give it a listen if you want. So we do tend to target to get those groups to come and listen, but in general I would agree with you that most of them do, but I happen to know, because a lot of times if someone on Facebook will like the page, I'll friend them and end up talking to them and getting feedback from them directly. And unfortunately, I can't repeat all of the chats that we go through because some of them are incredibly lengthy and it just wouldn't be feasible. But some of them, they may still download it or they may not, but they're waiting for the World of Darkness to come back. And I think that maybe a few people will drift off that were Dresden fans when we go back to World of Darkness, and that's to be expected, and that's fine. The vast majority of them are still downloading, and I don't know if they're listening because we can't tell that, but we know that they're downloading the podcast still, and I think that's more to do with our play style than anything else.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
I think that no matter what game we play, we still have the same play style.
Right. It's an investigative
Yeah.
Heavy role-playing with a sprinkling of combat to keep things fresh is how I would describe it.
Right, and I think that makes for a better podcast, in my opinion, because with an investigation, with the mystery, the listeners can sort of play along.
Right.
They can try to guess what's going on as well. When you're a heavy combat AP, it's just combat.
Right.
And
Can't see the dice being rolled, and
nor can you affect it, and you can cheer when something cool happens, as everyone does, but in general I think a mystery type thing lends itself better. And that's not why we do it. That's our play style, and it just happens to work out that
we
way.
like mysteries, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks to both those reviewers. I thought both of them did an excellent job of giving feedback, and we appreciate their time and effort.
We definitely do. And with that, we will go back to the adventure where we deal with those over at Edmund Shadowski's detective agency. All right, this is Tom. We're playing the Dresden Files storyline Delivery. I'm your GM, and starting on my left is
John, playing Roberto Martinez, Guardian of Cleveland, empowered by a fallen angel.
Thomas, playing Maxwell Edison, an undercover FBI agent.
Mike, playing Allan Montgomery, the new warden in town.
Jim, playing Edmund Shadowski, private investigator and New World Black Court vamp.
Scott, playing London Deals, amoral seer to the supernatural. Let's speak with our client.
So what was the final...
The final agreement that I understood it was that we get to have 30 minutes with Mr. Montgomery.
All right, you guys have questioned some vampires in the sunroom of Edmund Shadowski's detective agency. Pardon?
I think the most important point we found out when we questioned them was that the clinic was after London Deals.
We already knew that.
This is where we learned it.
Well, you found it out just then. I found it out when he asked me.
He showed up, he said, I work for the Cleveland Clinic, and we want you to find London Deals.
Okay, well, he shouldn't have gone there, and I thought our next goal was to go after him.
They didn't know they were going there. When they left, they were looking for Donovan. The tracking spell led them to Cleveland Clinic. Nobody knew until that point that's where Donovan
And they both knew that walking into the clinic was probably not a good idea.
Yeah, that's why they were disguised. However, if I remember correctly, we did figure out also that Donovan was at the clinic.
Is our goal to catch up with them then, or should...
Once we were done asking these guys questions, we'd probably be trying to call them to get a hold of them, and who knows if we can or not.
We might blow their cover if they're in there.
I don't care. I don't know where they're at. That's I knew they were calling the tracking spell. I'm calling it.
I can't use my aspect that I have a deal with London to automatically appear there. But can I have, like, tracking spell that I pull a lever and it activates?
Truthfully, I think Mr. Deals would have a big problem with someone being able to use a tracking spell to find
His
him.
bodyguard having a backup?
Or a device that can instantly find him.
Yeah, because he could just kill you and then take the device.
But again, that's when they were calling the tracking spell.
Yes. And as you interrogate these vampires, you get the information, and then you go into another room and leave them in there and talk about it for a while, and then half an hour passes, and then an hour passes, and then...
Why do we let this happen?
what would you like to do? You can stop after half an hour. You're just assuming you're going to hear from them unless you have something that you guys want to do.
I have no idea how to track them.
I would say like after an hour we would give them a call and just ask for an update of what's going on. Where you guys at?
Do either of them have cell phones?
I don't think
London does.
I don't think there was any vital information we really got from these guys that we really needed to call them and tell them about right away.
Allan does not have a cell phone because he's a wizard and they don't tend to work with cell phones very well. London is not a wizard, and it has been established that he did have a cell phone.
But given all the interference and where we are, would it even...
At the very least, he would have it on vibrate.
Or I would also argue, at the very least, since we broke a major spell that unleashed a lot of magic,
Could have fried out
would have fried out anything.
So, your phone rings and goes to voicemail. You leave a message?
Mm-hmm. Someone call me back as soon as possible.
Okay. So half an hour has passed and it's starting to move on longer. You call London and go right to his voicemail, leave a message, and then do what?
Would Ryan Nelson know Bill Donavon enough to know where he hid the baby?
No.
No. Who does know Bill Donavon enough to know where?
Bill Donovan.
Allan Montgomery.
No. He wasn't in town. He was the only person who might have known him well enough if he was in town at the time, but that just didn't make sense.
If he has a safe place as well.
Also,
Presumably he had a wife at some point. He has a kid.
she died. That was in the backstory, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bill Donovan's wife died.
Wasn't there some reason we wanted to track down Megan?
She's dangerous.
No, we wanted to.
She wants to find the baby too. And she's doing it so her father can get off the hook.
Who we're trying to track down anyways. So we're kind of like.
That's how we knew where Donovan was, at least vaguely.
Waffleverse can lead us to him.
Damn, that's what we should ask first.
Well, it can be his terms for his freedom.
Says the guy who wanted to kill him.
Now he's useful.
He squished one of his eyeballs out.
There's that too.
There's her ex-crispy Bruce, right?
Yes.
Is in the other room.
Yeah.
And if I go in there and explain that we're kind of going at different ends obtain the same means, and I'd like to talk to Megan about maybe combining forces or knowledge or something to get something done productively, and I'd like to contact Megan. What would be the best way to do it where she would not feel threatened by it? You know, give me a contact that can give me a contact that can get a hold of her or something like that.
Is he just going to give us this information because we previously defeated him, or...
No, there was a sufficient break.
Empathy.
No, he would have gotten his stress boxes back, but he still has the consequences that he did. And that is something you wish to ask him?
Yes.
I'd say empathy, and I'd say I should roll it, because I'm really good at empathy.
Is it something does he even need to roll it? Is there any reason why he wouldn't want to not give me that information? I don't want to attack her, I don't want to take her over, I want to work with her, and I want to meet her somewhere safe, or
Well, you might
contact
have
her
a
through
hard-
someone she feels is safe to contact her through.
Might have a
Right.
hard time believing you.
After what you guys have done to me,
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you where she would have been, but she knows I'm captive. She's not going to be there. If you let me go, I can find her and have her contact you.
Ooh, we could call up the middle and follow you.
Yeah. I was just going to make you promise. That sounds better.
Promise.
Promises of power.
Oath.
Bet, and you know, just like 20 minutes ago, I saved your life. You were there for that. You were arguing in the room, I think.
If you let me go, I promise I will have her contact you at any number you want.
That's not what I want.
I want you to lead us to her.
Considering what you do to vampires, I won't. That would be a social conflict, because he ain't doing it.
He has prior,
Yeah, tons of consequences I inflicted on him.
I think he tapped those, but he definitely has them. They've been used up.
I don't think...
All you would
I
have-
didn't.
He didn't. He just rolled really high and put his eye out. He put another consequence on and did
I thought
nothing
you
else.
put his out accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
He was trying to interrogate him, and he rolled really high on his intimidation.
He tripped and got waterboarded by accident.
He had waffled and his face burnt for a medium, and the severe was that you poked one of his eyes out. So
Waffle and burn.
those are all
from
still
like-
existent.
Yeah. Letting him go so he can have her call us up and say, yeah, we're both going to come and track you guys down and kill you is not really an option.
John, what's your intimidation?
3.
Then I'm just gonna roll empathy with the +6 from all those consequences.
Can I let him do that? I thought he'd have to pay a fate point if he's using someone else's.
No, you can give it to them.
Can
One
I
of them was
just...
Mike's, but I presume that he'd give it to me pretty easily.
This seems a very contrary use of them.
Because
We've
I know-
inflicted... Sorry.
Because I know just about everybody, can I throw a fate point out and say, hey, I think I know how to get a hold of her?
That's not how fate points work in aspects. They work as a +2 modifier to a skill roll. So you could say, I know where she would normally hide by rolling a contact, and then use a fate point to add +2 to that roll. But I don't believe your contact is all that high.
I think it's 5.
It would be best to get London to do this.
Yeah, you should try to call him.
Yeah, no, I did that.
Using empathy and then using... I poked your eye out, we burnt your face, we waffled you into a wall. So show us the way to your girlfriend. Seems really contrary.
I know we hurt your face, and I'm sorry. If I could take it back, I would.
But you don't want it to happen again.
And I won't let them do it again. You just need to help me.
My
Playing the good
friends-
cop, are you?
It's my job. It's all
Sure enough.
My friends are not gonna let you walk out of here and find your girl and then have her meet us somewhere else. As much as I trust you,
How far is that?
as much as I trust you, and know that you would follow through with your promise, my teammates would much rather follow you, and I'm not sure they'd let you do anything else. Well, okay, they would let you sit in the cell and rot. And honestly, they kind of want you dead.
Okay, go for empathy.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
Do you
very
have
good.
a decent empathy?
I do. It's 4, but I rolled a -1, so that's total good plus 6 is 9.
Could I help him
total
empathize?
averagely legendary 9 because of all.
So you're above legendary, and that was a bad roll?
Can I help him?
Oh,
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
Use
have
all the
+6.
consequences.
I rolled an even, and his defense is average. So, in one swift argument, he once again gets him to capitulate, but he's got no consequences. He has to exceed the 3 social stress he has. He rolled a 9. His defense was 1. It was a crushing blow. He doesn't have to take any consequences. He can just immediately crumple, which he does. And so he agrees to not only leave, but lead you again, I don't know exactly where she is. And if I know her, she's gone to ground till the night.
It's not a good amount of time to be waiting.
Alright, we're gonna follow him around.
I mean, I could try.
I'll follow him around. You guys could be a
Let's
second
split up
call in
even.
the car.
What is the oath you wish him to take?
Isn't this good enough?
That you will let me go if I take you to her.
And maybe help us convince her to talk to us? I mean, we just tried to kill her, honestly. I don't think she's going to want to talk to us.
No, actually, you didn't. You were in a fight with vampires. You did not attack her. You did chase her. You did shoot at him. You've done a lot of bad things to him.
Oh, yeah.
And you tried to catch her, and I think the warden would have killed her if he could have, but she's never taken any damage from any of you.
Okay, the one
So-
person you did catch came back missing an eye with his face burned.
Yeah. This is going terrible. I'm still going to want you to help us convince her to talk to us.
Okay, he agrees to that oath. You will let him go if he takes you to her and helps you get your point across to her.
There you go.
Hey.
So,
Success.
if you want to go now, he doesn't think you'll have any luck finding her, but he will try.
You said better luck is if we wait till later.
She won't come out till tonight. She's gone to ground, and I don't think she's coming out. And she's definitely hasn't gone to ground where we have been hiding. We can go look there. It's in the warehouse district, but you're not going to find her there. She knows I've been captured.
Any ideas, guys? I mean, we could just wait till night, but as far as we know...
At this point,
Until night, let's check the warehouse.
Where they used to live?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
at this point, there's a light next to the door because you guys are in the sunroom, and the sunroom is soundproofed. You know, there's a way to monitor what's going on in here, but the light's flashing to get your attention, and that usually means that there's some information that someone wants to tell you outside the door. It's your secretary. And she tells you there's something on the news you should probably see. So she takes you to the conference room in there that you have a large agency and they tend to watch the news and what's going on. Yeah. And they're talking about a fire and demolition at the theater. Yeah. And they have a picture of an artist's rendition of some Hispanic guy who had apparently caused some of the damage that they're looking for. And to tell you the truth, it really doesn't look that much like him. But
all they heard was Hispanic guy busted a wall, and they were like...
And if anybody sees this gentleman, please contact the police at such and such a number.
Nothing about any sword-wielding idiots, right?
No.
Or crazy people?
All the crazy stuff happened indoors.
But it's a big news story that the theater has taken considerable damage, and that the person responsible is apparently this guy. You show a artist rendition.
Okay.
So anyways, do you guys want to do anything else, or you want to go back to these guys and try to finish up the agreement before we go on?
Yeah, might as well do that.
Okay. We're back to you guys. 30 minutes.
With Bill, sure.
In the room there that he's in. We will let you out when you're done.
After those 30 minutes, right?
What?
After the 30 minutes.
Not after I'm dead, after 10 years ago.
We will, no.
You're not negotiating with the devil. It's not a wish ring, Mike.
30 minutes of private conversation.
We're okay.
Swear as an oath that we will not monitor your conversation that's going on in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I could just stay out here with her.
Yep.
So...
You might not want to stay out here.
He's not really happy about you right now.
I know, it's a good point. Yeah,
Really angry at you right now.
I nearly drove you to permanent...
Actually, it doesn't.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
I prefer not to be out there with her alone.
Alright, so we walk into the room. Allan,
We will be setting up a conference room. Do you guys need anything to drink or eat
Poison water?
for a discussion afterwards?
a Coca-Cola.
You're not a Pepsi man.
Some Pierre.
Of course. Crime against man and God. And undead.
She leaves. Dale Williams leaves. Robert Mahoney leaves.
Alright,
After they usher you into the room and close it, you are in fact
I understand.
trapped in there right now
Yep.
until they let you out. Have at it.
Alright.
Oh, they forgot to take the mouth thing off the top. You can't say a word. No.
They would say a conversation that it does imply that there's going to be, not a soliloquy or a lecture.
Robert Mahoney is the one that removes the spell.
Robert Mahoney, what? Oh, removes this. Okay, gotcha.
Wait a minute. No, Dale Williams. I'm
I was gonna
sorry.
say,
Robert Mahoney's a...
There's a lot of wizards running around this
No.
place.
He's just a big mook. Why are you here?
I'm here for you, Bill. I got some questions for you. I don't have
I don't
time.
want to be here.
I need you to be quiet now, Bill. But I want you to listen carefully because I don't have time for the games or the old times or anything. I've got a couple questions and I need to know answers straight up. And if you can't answer them or you don't give me what I need, My hands are tied, Bill, and you know what I have to do. And you know what I'm capable of doing, correct? We trained me, buddy. But you know how I play the game.
He sighs and looks down, dejected. Yes,
Alright.
quite aware.
Where is the baby named Janice?
He looks at the door. How sure are you that they can't hear us?
They've given an oath. If you want, whisper in my ear. If you want to write it, something, I don't know. If you want to tap in my finger.
Why do you want the baby? Everybody wants the baby. If I give that information to you, then how do I know you're not going to give it to them?
Why would I give it to them?
The baby's safe.
My question was, where's the baby?
Don't you question it?
I'm also carrying around Sarah Lemons inside my skull. Alright, and I would imagine that, you know...
She's whispering to you,
right.
Yeah. She's
Right.
giving you...
And I saw what happened at Sarah Lemon's place.
I couldn't let them take it.
Were they human, Bill?
You don't know what they were
Bill,
on to
were
that
they
baby.
human? Yes or no?
Do you know what they plan to do with that baby?
Were they human, Bill? The question remains. You know what I'm asking, and you have to answer.
You weren't there.
The answer is yes, Bill, isn't it?
You weren't there.
You killed human beings.
They were going to sacrifice her. They're going to sacrifice her.
What were the terms of this contract? What were you supposed to do?
Just look at the baby.
Why?
They want to sacrifice her. They want to
Okay,
imbue
but you
a
came.
new...
But you came to them.
Telling you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They want to imbue what? Go ahead, Bill.
They want to
We're
imbue-
listening.
They want to imbue, they want to create a new mother, a new queen of a new type of creature. The baby soul is way, way more powerful than any other soul.
Then why did you approach the vampires?
It's a long story, Alan.
Cut to the chase, man.
I was weak. Shit fell apart.
And
You don't understand what this city's like. This city is horrible. It eats your soul.
It's gonna do more than that. You
You
want
have
me
your
to play
sword?
the piano?
Do it now. You'll save me, you'll save the baby. Do your job. Kill me, Alan.
You know that
You
that's...
know I deserve to die. You know for a fact that I killed humans.
So you admit to it.
He looks down again.
Did you know that Megan is turned?
I've heard that, yeah.
Was she why you got into this? I mean, what did you think you were going to do?
She's gonna die. I can't lose her too.
Megan's already dead. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? I've
When it
seen her
came
go.
down to it, I couldn't kill the baby to save Megan. That's what I thought I might be able to do, but I can't. I can't do that. I
You
can't
were
fall
suppo-
that far.
Wait, I'm sorry. You were supposed to kill the baby, or you're supposed
No,
to...
I was supposed to get the baby, but
Where'd you put her, Bill?
there was promises that Megan could be the one,
There's promises that Megan could be the one.
the new queen, that she would continue to live. That the power of that soul wouldn't get burned out like all the other black vampires, that she would survive. Now she's a ticking time bomb.
Megan is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
You're not playing any other game? There's no little card that you're hiding in your sleeve?
No, but if
What do
you
you-
kill me now, that ends everything. The baby will be safe. You'll do your job.
I agree with him.
Of course,
I'm back to clean up the mess and by the book.
Constance is still around. And she'll just try to make another.
No, that's a fight for another day, right?
Could have not been, but you know, whatever.
Pretty much end it right here.
So, cards and table all in. Are you going to tell me where Janice is or not?
What are you going to do with her?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure what exactly. You know, you're still not clear on what.
Alan, I trust
First of
you
all,
to be
you were-
a better man than I am. Do you remember where we trained? Where I took you to the Underdark and I showed you what was going on there? In the subway?
Yes.
Just down there.
Who with? Are you making more deals than. Did you sell your soul a couple more times?
popular product.
I was owed some favors, and I knew that nobody would look for it down there.
How did you fuck up so much, Bill?
This town, the evil just seeps into your bones. It's floating in the air. It's just an evil town.
Good words for an epitaph, Bill. Is there anything you want to say before I do it?
Yeah, I want you to help me take out Constance. Then you can take me to the White Council and I'll serve whatever punishment they want to give. Now that you know where the baby is, there's no point. They're going to get it out of you now.
I hereby pronounce judgment upon William Donavon as violating the first law of magic, using it to kill a human being, and all sorts of other rules and things that I can't bring myself to finish. And I draw my sword. Is he going to fight me? Or is he broken, or is it his will? Is he weak, or...
He wants to argue that to kill him now, and he agrees, he deserves it, but he'd like to try to make a difference in the town. The biggest evil is Constance. If you can help me take her out, somehow, I'll die doing that, or I'll die after that. I don't care. I don't want to fight. I don't want to go out as a colossal fuck-up and not get something out of it.
Good, listen carefully.
If you kill him now, we're not getting out of here alive.
I know.
Okay.
But listen carefully. I still have the authority and the power to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You have the judgment of Damocles upon you. You know what that means.
Yes, I do.
We're going to have to probably leave you here, Bill.
I don't deserve to go. But if we're setting something up, now's the time. I'm not going to get to talk to you again, so I'll tell you this. You got to find the conductor. And you got to talk to him, and he can lead you to the ghoul that's watching Janice for me. That's protecting her.
Ghoul in charge of a baby.
There's an oath involved. The baby's fine. The baby's safe. Nobody's going to look for her there.
All right. We're probably going to see each other at least one more time.
In the unseen, yes.
All right. So you're going to have to... I don't know what we can do, but you're going to have to be ready, and probably it's going to cost you your life to make this right.
I could take her out with my death curse if she's in the same room.
Well, we're going to have to arrange a swap. So, I don't know, I don't know how much I can say without, how we started or not. I'm kind of getting out of character, but I guess the idea is, if there is a game plan or a ploy, whether we...
You're talking about the beginning scene? That
Yeah.
was left intentionally vague so that it could be filled in on any way you wanted.
That's what
You came into the room holding something in a red blanket.
Right.
She demanded
Right.
you have it, turn it over, and
So-
Bill Donavon was standing next to her.
And I'm going to be like...
And your friends were there.
Right.
Whether that is London standing next to her looking like Bill Donavon, or it's possible.
Yeah, I know. You can do that now.
I only have one spell I can cast.
What's that?
It would take two to take his place.
Yeah, he's exhausted, both mentally and physically.
No, you're...
And it's not.
Socially.
That ain't London. He's not taking the place of anyone.
Oh yes, leave me here to die. This is the good plan. Let's do this.
No. There'll be red wine.
All right,
There'll be Belgian chocolates, and there'll be Brazilian women tonight. That's what I'm going to end up with.
This is a your life is forfeit, but not yet. I mean, we're gonna...
We can do this.
All right.
You have, say, 15 minutes left with them. In hushed tones, you whisper a plan
Okay.
and leave it so that we can backfill it
Okay.
with anything you want to do.
That's a good idea. I mean,
Because
I'm not saying it will
I don't want
work.
to put you under pressure here to suddenly come up with a plan. So let's make it a little
Fair
vague.
enough.
The way books are written, you whisper the plan to Bill,
Okay.
and then
I also make it clear to him that I'm furious with him. Whatever relationship we had before is broken, and like I said, I've pronounced judgment upon him. So it's going to be my choosing when I finally execute.
yeah, you know what? I think that's worth a fate point. Following the book and telling your mentor you're going to kill him because he has to be killed is certainly worthy of a fate point.
All right. Cool.
And with that, we will wrap. A good session, guys.
Yeah, a lot of drama for a social combat.
We're still stuck in that cell, though. We're not out of...
Not out of jail yet.
No, they agreed to let you out, and they certainly will. I don't know that any other role-playing game has the tools for social combat like that, which is something
World
I
of
kind of
Darkness
like.
has some. I don't know if it's quite as robust. Those dice definitely work better for me, John. But
You have to come
I'm
up
looking
with
forward to trying it.
We rolled horribly.
Yeah, seriously, every roll was even or -1, pretty much all night until the end.
I had a total of -15 fudge.
Yeah.
When usually I'm way up.
Hey, I would just took break even on both of our rolls. We might actually beat her, which could have been a whole different story.
Tap later.
You are not allowed to use those weight dice next week.
I rolled some hot dice.
Yes, you did. It's sad and greatly.
We had good pluses and we still.
Hey,
Mike, I think it was a brilliant idea to bring the Accords into it, and it saved your guy's life.
absolutely.
Told you I had a plan.
That was a good plan.
I didn't expect that plan. I really didn't.
Hey, it worked. It was a very good plan. And you know what? We took the most powerful woman in Cleveland to the brink of social defeat.
Well, you did actually. You pissed her off.
Oh, she hates you.
She
hates
was
you.
punning me beforehand. What do I have?
Well, you were a failed employee before. Now you're a fucking hate you. Thanks for listening to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. Visit kotnpodcast.com for more information on this and other adventures, where you will find character stats, photos, storytelling props, and even a forum for comments and suggestions. Or you could email us directly at feedback@kotnpodcast.com, or contact us via Twitter or leave a message on Facebook. All music for this podcast was created and performed by Zen Audiosmith. If you'd like custom professional music created for your podcast or business, please visit zenaudiosmith.com, and please join us next episode for more mystery and adventure. This town, the evil just seeps into your bones. It's floating in the air. It's just an evil town.
Good words for an epitaph, Bill. I hereby pronounce judgment upon William Donavon as violating the first law of magic, using it to kill a human being, and all sorts of other roles and things that I can't bring myself to finish. And I draw my sword.
Mike, I think it was a brilliant idea to bring the Accords into it, and it saved your guy's life.
Absolutely.
Told you I had a plan.